Hello, and thank you for stopping by the garage. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a 1/35th scale figure. I'm working on the new Panzer I tank from Tamiya, and this is the driver. So I'm going to show how I paint these. I did the 1/48th scale figure, well, it's been about a month or so back, and I got a lot of feedback that everything was too small and it was hard to see. So this time I'm going to try to do it again, zoomed in to the best of my ability and the best of this. I'm using an Osmo action camera, so I'll do the best I can for it to get as close as I can. And actually the feedback, I mean, overall was good on that video, but I have to compliment the people who said, hey, try to zoom or whatnot. It was actually polite advice, so on the internet, that was really great. So thank you for that. And I'm taking my lesson learned and giving it another shot here. So first step is I'm going to prime it. I've got Vallejo gray primer. It's really light. I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to switch to white and spray white down from the top to look like light from the sun coming down on the figure like it would. Now this is going to be dark gray, so the variations in the light and dark may not come out as well on the uniform, but they will on the face and the hands, so it's still worth doing. So first step, I'm going to get the airbrush loaded and prime this guy. Alright, and there's our guy. He's primed, ready to go. Now I'm going to load the airbrush with a little bit of white and just do a top-down spray to bring out the highlights. Alright, that's where I'm going to stop. Kind of hard to see the difference, but the highlights are brighter and the crevices are still a little darker. So, and we'll go from there. And that's the last of the airbrush. Everything else is going to be done by hand once that dries and we're ready to go. Okay, so right here's what our guy is going to look like. And I actually misspoke. His uniform is black. The collar of his shirt is dark gray. So first thing I need to do is get all the paints ready. So there's my flesh colors. I've got light flesh, basic skin tone, beige red, brown sand, and then for the extreme pink is burnt red. I need to make those very thin. This is rubbing alcohol. They're very thin now. Okay. And I don't care if they run together, they're going to get mixed up together anyway. But I'm going to start light with the base flesh. And see, it's so very thin. You're going to think, wow, it's too thin. That's just about right. Because thin layers is the key to this. Just give it all a quick coat for this first bit. You can color outside the lines, it doesn't really matter too much. Done. Alright. I'm going to dry my brush and then kind of soak up any excess. Alright. So that first coat looks like I didn't do much at all. And then just going to keep layering on. So now I'm going to start the red accents lightly. So a little rose in the cheek, just a dot. And just a dot there. And Just a little bit of color in the face. So see, it still looks pretty rough. Now I'll take a little bit of the basic skin tone and a little bit of the beige. Very thin. And just kind of lightly go over things. Highlight the nose, the ear, and the chin with the darker colors. Alright. Okay, now at this stage, in this scale, you may or may not want eyes. These eyes are very tiny, but I'm going to try. Got some black. And I'm just going to kind of fill in the eye area with black. Just a dot. Kind of represent an eye being there. It looks like he's got two big black eyes. And that's okay. As I fill in the flesh around those eyes, they'll get smaller and smaller, and they'll just kind of be a darkness there. So it looks like he has eyes, but you really can't tell. So now I need some darkness. So, you know, under the chin, where it'll be kind of shadowy, we'll put a darker flesh color. Can't see it as much. Maybe the back of the neck. You know, he's out in the sun. Okay, now I've got the finer brush, and I'm going to add the red. So you got to think, what part of him is red? Well, his lips, of course. And so I'm just going to try to trace in some red with my fine brush to get that color in there. It can be a little sloppy, that's okay. There you go. So now he kind of looks like the Joker. That's okay. That's what I was going for. So now I'm going to go back to my light flesh. Anything that I see is bare, I'm going to go with the light this time. So I can see through these areas. I can see through under the nose. Now I want to kind of de-jokerize his lips. Do a little underneath the eye for cheekbones, kind of work some of that black out of there. Okay. So now he really looks kind of Jokerish. Let that dry, and then I'll come in with some of the other colors and blend in. So now we're ready for a blending layer. He really has like some weird Jokerisms going on. So probably won't use that light one anymore, because it's going to be too light for some of the things we're going to do. So this one is the brown sand. I'm going to mix a little bit of that with a little bit of the beige red. To get a different color. Okay. Now I'm going to work some of these areas. Just do a little blend. This is where the thin paint comes in. Because it'll just kind of wash together and blend these colors in. Jokerish is starting to work its way out of there. Get some good color. Go a little bit more of the dark for above the eyes. Okay. felt a little thick. Take a swipe with some of my alcohol. Alright, that filled the eye holes a little too much. I'll just take my brush, wick that out. Alright, and the black is still in there. But now, see, these colors are starting to blend. So he's got some depth going. Alright, so I'm just working the various fleshy colors together. Give it some depth. Put a little red on the cheeks, and now I'm working it around. Okay, just a little touch up on the lips. Just to kind of bring them back out. Now I got kind of a dry brush. Blend it in just a little bit, because you just want a hint of. Don't make it look like he's wearing lipstick. Alright. And I think that's good. As you can see on the face, just a shadowing of eyes, so it looks like, yep, he has eyes. A hint of red on the lips. And then all the flesh colors have blended, so you've got multi-tonal. And looking good. And now I'll just repeat the same process with the hands. I'll go with base flesh on there, because that light flesh was just too light for what I was going for. See, it's got the fingers and the crevices, so it'll just fill in nicely. Let it go ahead and fill in, get the top and the bottom. Okay, and dry your brush and kind of wick some of that out. This is just the first base layer. And same thing over here. Gonna just fill the hands. And then let that dry. And go on to the next. Alright. There's that. Okay, now for the rest, the goal is to be very careful not to touch the flesh. So I'm going to go with the black, and the same thing, it should still be nice and thin, so I'm going to thin it out a little bit. It's really watery, thin black. And then just start washing it on. There you go. It's literally a wash. Now that I got the bottom, I need a clip. There we go. I got a little handle to hold on to. And then do the same thing with the upper body. Being careful not to get in contact with the flesh. What I was saying about the primer is it grabs it. So it gives it a good base to attach itself to. Again, around the hands, be careful. Just getting some of the excess off. It's kind of... Alright. Now same thing for the hat. Skin is nice and thin, so it fills in the crevices. Gotta be careful. Get the cap, but not the face. Let's see if I can see where the cap ends and the face begins, which is right there. Okay. First coat of black is done. Okay. Let that dry up, and then I'll come back one more time and call it good. So we have a little bit of contrast, but it's still got to be pretty black, because you know the uniform, I'm sure, was nice and neat and not faded. So, alright. And then coming back for the second coat. This is where the black should kind of get a little more serious. I want the black to really get thick now. The pants are right there where I need them to be. The jacket and the arms. I end up with another coat. So not quite there, but they're getting there. I want it to look like it has depth, but not at the expense of it not looking like it's a black uniform. So that's just this technique, is just layering the colors until you get it where you like it. That's the nice thing about it, is you don't have to get, you know, really into the detail to painting. You're just washing the color on until it lands where you want it to be. Well, this is already looking better. I'm gonna stop there. A little variation in there makes it look like the sun's bouncing off of it and all that good stuff. So there's his black uniform. Now his shirt is supposed to show up gray. It's just really tiny right there. Alright, you can't really tell, but his shirt is now gray. Now the finishing touch is he's got a silver belt buckle. So I'm going to get this downward stable. It's raised, so I'm just going to dab the, I guess it's silver chrome. X11 is what it called for. Okay, and then he also has an insignia on his helmet, or his hat. Goes right there. There's actually a sticker's going to be there, but it says to put a dot where the sticker goes. So it must add some depth, I suppose. Almost forgot his hair. Doesn't say to do this, but it's on there, so I can tell he has hair. So I'm going to paint hair. Alright, now that's a little better. That actually kind of brings some life back to him too. So now he's ready to go. Alright, there's your guy. Nice simple method of painting him. Well, thanks for stopping by the garage, and take care.